Hayden Wink's First Amendment right. Okay. His right to free speech it should be protected like yours and mine. Everybody should be able to be heard on our podcast, and that's what I'll do here. All right. So he did tweet some concern, and at first I was among the people poking fun at Hayden. Hey,
you tried to get his account suspended.
Relax, man. And then he wrote this. I don't think he admitted defeat, because here's what Hayden Winks wrote. He said, let me elaborate. Kelce is 33 years old, and the history of elite tight ends falling off at this age is strong. Over the last 4 years, Kelce's snap rate has gradually fallen from 95% to 92% to 86% to 82% in 2021. And Kelce's yards per game last year was the lowest it's been since Patrick Mahomes showed up. That's the same with his yards per route run. Would it be a surprise if the Chiefs began saving him for the postseason? I don't think so. So it goes on to say basically that his preseason usage is a lot different than it has been during the Mahomes era in Kansas City. I think that's a good point. I also think that fantasy managers, maybe including myself, are underplaying how different this KC offense is going to look this year. Pat, they're using a fullback regularly in the preseason. This is something that we did not see during the Tyreek Hill era, and they're using more two tight end sets. I think that we're going to see less of the fancy pants football that we're used to seeing from Andy Reid, and more kind of standard stuff. And Kelce's age cannot be ignored. So here's the thing Hayden was pointing out, and Hayden, I'm defending your right to free speech here as the best I can. He's pointing out that Kelce is a tough sell in the first round, considering these factors, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I would never take Travis Kelce in the first round this year. I will totally agree with that. And I've been on the Kelce is like subtly aging train for a while. I mean, not even that subtly. Last year, the yards per out run was something that really popped.
Yeah,
it was a new career low by a fairly wide margin. But by the same token, you mentioned the offense is changing. I mean, it's changed to where now the one guy that Patrick Mahomes has established regular season chemistry with is Travis Kelce. I don't think they can save him for the postseason, because as we know, this is the most brutal division in football. I don't think they're gonna be able to manage his reps, and even as the snaps decline, I think it's probably just gonna be one of those situations where Jason Witten's snaps decline, Tony Gonzalez's snaps decline, but their targets just never really declined. And even if their explosiveness declines, they're such a safe receptacle for short target. They just move the chains basically at will. But I really don't. Even if the usage kind of dramatically changes, I just don't think the output, maybe other than the raw yardage and touchdown totals, I think the reception and target totals remain pretty strong. But yeah, I do agree. The upside is not there anymore to be a first round. He's not tiered above anymore, alone. He's not one of those like prime Gronk, even maybe Jimmy Graham, where he's a tier alone, himself atop, and there's a huge positional advantage to taking him in the first round.
I would much rather have Kyle Pitts in the third round than I would Travis Kelce in the first. I would even rather have Mark Andrews, who I've expressed concern about the Ravens offense and Andrews this year.
Since you're taking Isaiah Likely in the second round, you left that part out.
That's right. I would take him first overall over CMC and Jonathan Taylor. I love my bad players, but so I would take either Andrews or Pitts, considering their ADP, over Kelce without blinking. I think that Kelce is being drafted probably above his floor. Hayden points out in his post, in his if you want to call it an apology post, whatever it was, explanation post. He says that if Kelce's snap share drops from 82% to 75% or whatever this year, he cannot bring back that first round value.
I don't think he can bring back the first round value. I think even if a snap percentage declines 7%, though, he could get the same amount of targets. I think it's there's just certain players where even as the reps, the minutes in basketball are scaled back, or the innings in baseball are scaled back. They always get the important ones, though. And I do think the targets will remain fairly steady. But you mentioned Kyle Pitts. I just get more confused every day with Kyle Pitts, because he's truly a freak, once in a generation talent. But Marcus Mariota's like defining characteristic as a passer was not attempting difficult throws in Tennessee. That was also kind of Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati, a very, very safe player. He's going to be so blanketed all year. I just don't know what to think with this young man.
Yeah, you didn't see the highlight from the.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I mean, what in the world was that?
It was pretty sick.
No tight end has ever moved like that, ever. Not even close.
No, actually, yeah, not maybe Tony Gonzalez, like way back in the day. Way back in the day.
Tony Gonzalez, all due respect, is a plumber compared to Kyle.
No.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.